Good day, everyone. So today we are going to talk about the standards-based assessment. So when we say standards-based assessment, is that these are the assessment that are designed to determine whether students have attained a targeted knowledge, understanding, and skills that have been identified by the policymakers as important. So these tests check if the students have learned what are teachers supposed to teach based on the curriculum or the state standards. And we also have types of standards-based assessment, which is the national and international. Later on, I'll provide examples for you to better visualize it. We also have here the standardized assessment. When we say standardized assessment, it refers to any tests that are administered, scored, interpreted in a standard and predetermined manner. So these are the tests that are given the same way to all students with the same instructions and scoring rules. We also have here the types of standardized assessment. We have the main two types, which is the traditional and the customized. Under the traditional, we have the socioeconomic and aptitude. When we say socioeconomic link items, this measure what students brought to school, not students were taught in school. So we measure here the family background, the socioeconomic status of the student. Meanwhile, the aptitude link items talk about the standardized achievement tests used to generate score spread and are linked to students' inherited academic aptitude. So these items are designed to measure natural ability or inherited talent, not just classroom learning or not just what they have learned inside the classroom. So they are often used to spread out scores among the students. So on the other hand, we also have here the second type, which is the customized standards-based test. So it's a built to measure the degree to which the students have mastered the state content standards, which are specifically made tests to match a state or school learning standards, checking how well students mastered exactly what was being taught. And moving on, we have here the example standards-based assessment from Key Stage 1, which is the kinder to grade 3. We have here three national standards-based assessment. From the Key Stage 2, from grade 4 to 6, we also have here from a national, which is also known as NAT. We only have one, but for the international, we have three types of standards-based assessment. For the Key Stage 3, we from grade 7 to 10, we also have national achievement tests as national. And international, we have two. And most commonly known, is a program for international student assessment, which is PISA. And in the Key Stage 4, from grades 11 to 10, we only have one from national and international. So the importance of standards-based assessment is that it establishes a universal educational standards because it provides a baseline for comparison, allowing school leaders, educational stakeholders to compare students' test scores across diverse backgrounds. And number two, or the second bullet, is that they allow comparison across years, which shows learners improve over the time. So it demonstrates one's progress. And number three, it ensures accountability, which define academic standards across schools, states, and nation and provide data for the targeted interventions. And it identifies and addresses educational disparities as they highlight or help the policymakers or to develop strategies to bridge these gaps. And lastly, the provide data for research and policy making is that these results are analyze trends, shapes curriculum improvement, funding priorities, and reforms. Of course, there are steps on how to construct it. Number one, define the proficiency. Learning goals needs to be concrete with clear indicators of proficiency. Number two, define progress towards proficiency, which involves describing what it looked like when students approach or exceed proficiency. Number three, you must prepare assessment tools, whether inventory and review assessment tools, which ensures they align with the standards. Number four, focus on the student learning. Learners must understand the expectations and be given multiple opportunities to demonstrate their learning. And number five, assessment for learning versus grading, which the standard-based assessment are not only for grading, but also for feedback, reflection, and continuous growth of the students. And in creating the standard-based assessment, we have to see the factors. Number one, developing assessment criteria and standards requires a significant time. Requires us time requirement. Or it requires us a more time to create it. And number two, there is a difficulty in moving away from traditional assessment or transitioning traditional assessment methods that are rooted from the normal curve. And lastly, or third to the last rather, is that different forms of performance require different assessment standards and criteria. And trial and validation or trial and error of tasks are necessary to establish achievement levels. And finally, there is a danger of being too prescriptive, which might undervalue the creativity. So, in conclusion, standard-based and standardized assessment plays a key role in evaluating student learning, ensuring accountability, and guiding educational policy. So, that is all for my report or for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. And here are my references. Thank you.